Well, time now for our feature, Make Me Your Mayor. Johannesburg Mayor Jolidee Matongo has just been elected, but will he keep his job? Mayor Matongo joins us now. Mayor, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. I suppose that's all that Johannesburg residents want to know within the city of Joburg. Do you plan to keep your job as mayor?
Well, good morning and good morning to the viewers. It's not my decision whether I want to keep the job. It's the decision of the ANC to put up a mayoral candidate. Should I be asked once more to avail myself, I will certainly accept the call by the ANC.
Right. With that being said, I mean, just hearing what the president had to say yesterday around the easing of lockdown restrictions, there was some sort of concern on the impact that would have, obviously on, politicians campaigning. We're talking about the number of people indoors, outdoors, in rallies, but also a warning there for politicians to abide by these lockdown restrictions and measures. In your perspective, any impact whatsoever that concerns you, particularly with these restrictions and, of course, campaigning for the local government elections?
Well, that's definitely a big impact on our part as the ANC, because a big part of the thing that we do as we campaign is our door-to-door campaign. So the restrictions also with social distancing and all of that does not necessarily give us that added advantage to campaign. But it's the new normal. We have to use social media and other platforms to campaign. But another big worry from our side is super spreader events. We don't want rallies. We've got to manage how we do the rallies themselves. The president says 500 outdoor. That's what parties need to adhere to. I see there are other parties who are just saying everybody must come, and it can't be accepted. Because if we do that, then we're in contravention of the regulations. So it's going to be a tough ask, but from the side of the ANC, the call is quite clear. Let's all adhere to the restrictions.
Right. Mayor Matongo, there are obviously other opposition and candidates trying to vie for your the seat that you're occupying at the moment, wanting to be mayor of the city of Johannesburg. You have the privilege of already being in that seat following the untimely passing of former Mayor Jeff Makobo. Just in your experience where you are right now and your first couple of weeks or days in your position, what have been the challenges in terms of the city of Johannesburg that you have already prioritized and already seen that needs special focus?
Well, top of the list as we assumed office was the non-responsiveness of officials employed by the city in attending to service delivery failures, things like potholes, burst pipes, and the electricity that is tripping all the time. So we have taken a decision that we will go ward by ward. That's what we are doing currently, looking at what are the service failures in each and every ward, and then giving those to the depots or the departments that are supposed to respond to them, putting them on the timelines, because there is a service charter. We are told if there is a burst water pipe, it should be fixed within 24 hours. So we are saying we have identified all the problems. We have given it to them. We are not going to say to them we are coming to inspect this particular area. We'll just go across the city on a random basis. And if we still find those, then those that have been given the task to fix it must be held accountable.
Yeah. Do you believe that you're running a world-class city with what you've just mentioned right now? Do you believe that you're running a world-class city as your slogan claims?
Well, it's our vision. We are aspiring to be a world-class African city of the future. Johannesburg is not a world-class African city of the future. That's what we are aspiring to, so that the things that we do on a daily basis must then suggest that indeed we are working towards becoming that world-class African city of the future.
Yeah, and for those perhaps, Mayor, before I let you go, who may think that they are discouraged to go out and vote because, they don't see Johannesburg as a world-class city yet, because of those service delivery challenges you've just alluded to, seem to not be getting right as yet, and they want to withhold their vote. What would your message be to them upon this 1st November local government elections?
Well, I think the first point to start is to say let's get everybody registered to vote. This coming weekend on the 18th and the 19th, you can still register online if you've got the capacity, because the trick here is that if you don't register, you can't vote. So let's deal with that part first. But secondly, those who are saying we are not going to participate, we are not going to vote, I think it's quite unfortunate that when our forebears fought and died for our freedom so that we have this particular right to vote, it becomes a problem that you firstly have to think people died for us to have this right. But the second part is, if you do not participate in a democratic process, in a voting, you may have very little to say in terms of the things that the government of the day does. So parties present their manifestos. You have got to look at all the parties and say, this party X represents what I think should be done in the city, therefore they deserve my vote. So I think it's important that we encourage everybody to register so that on the election day they are able to exercise their right to go out and vote for the party that they think should be able to deliver services.
Well, Mayor, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. Joburg Mayor Jolidee Matongo.